holiday party that we're hoping to have on December 15th, right, Tracy? Yes.
In the middle of a black and white.
In the middle of a black and white.
Yes, we are.
Yes, it's hopefully happening here December 15th. If we can come out of our houses on December 15th, we'll see. We're hoping if we have a turnout like this, we're cooking good. In the middle of, see, when COVID gets worse, everybody comes out because they're afraid of being locked up. As long as you wear your masks like this. Okay. So we'll put a blurb on the NJVA website, newsletter, and on the Facebook page. So, show of hands, who here would want to come to the Christmas party?
If I'm not working.
If he's not working. All right, so we got most of us. We're going to be here. We're going to have a photo booth, most likely. Okay, we're going to get Dan, who's going to supply all the stuff.
There's a reason I'm behind you.
Exactly. Moisha is going to be taking the pictures for the Christmas party. Free prints, 4x6. Here, prints. So anyway, before we begin, let me make sure I'm looking good. What was that?
What time would you think?
Usually it starts like 7 to 10. Same thing, 6, we'll be here 5, setting up, making it pretty. If anybody wants to volunteer for any kind of decorations, since money is low this year, since we had so many people not re-sign up. Put that over there, stand over here. Whatever anybody can help would be great, or just join and then we don't have to worry about free, or it's better if you just keep coming as a guest. Right, Dano? Right, Moisha? Awesome, perfect. So we have enough money now to make it till the spring. So we're okay.
What's that?
I think it bounces off the paneling
The room
and just comes back, so you can't win in this room.
$100.
So without further ado, I'm going to give it to Bill, who's been graciously carrying us the last couple meetings with all his knowledge. We're going to be going over, one is the website.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the website.
And then we're going to go into real estate
Right.
video and how to make millions of dollars without actually ever seeing anybody. Okay? Also, if anybody has any questions, since we're live streaming this from now on as long as I'm president and I'm glutton for punishment, we're going to live stream everything and we're going to put it, but it's only available to members, or if you attended this meeting, then you can ask us for the link, because the link is, it's there, but it's unpublished, so you can't find it. So email Tracy, and we'll give you the link, or you can email me, and I can give you the link also. Tab at TMS Photo, or info at TMS Photo, or tmsphoto.icloud, or tobiasmorgancreatives@gmail.com. One of those. And we will give you the link. But if anybody has a question, raise your hand. We'll give you the microphone, and then you can talk, so this way we can actually get the camera on you and then get your question so it's preserved forever. All right, without further ado, Bill Ivey.
So let's talk website. As all you are probably aware, our former website was quite dated, and it turns out that it crashed and burned. Without going into a lot of details, we no longer have access to it. So we're building a new website, and the emphasis now is going to be on making it a portal for members to get more business. So rather than just having, you know, a menu with everyone's name and contact number, we're going to build a profile page for every member. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Right now, this is just, it's a work in progress right now. It's at the very early stages. Things are all out of whack here. But on the main page, it's going to have everyone's name. It's going to be a link. They click on the link. They want to see, what is Dave Hall, you know, boom. And you'll go to, let me show you what you're going to get here. Back to editor. Okay. Actually, so here I'm going to click on, what did I just do? All right. Let me click on tab's name. brings you to a profile page, which will be name of the company, headshot, details about your business, and 4 videos. So clients can come and they can see what you're all about. Let me go here. Let me show you a couple other pages. We're going to be doing this for,
Bill, show him the videos played now.
oh, come on.
And you've mentioned before, Bill, that you've actually got work.
Wait, he didn't answer, he didn't raise his hand, come on.
There we go.
What was that?
So, Bill, have you
Yeah.
gotten work from this?
Yeah, I've gotten several jobs from the old website. People called me up, and so, I mean, you can get work, and I'd love to be able to get some sort of an SEO person to help us up the SEO value of the website and all that, but Jay Paul, boom, Dave, some of his works. So this is what it's going to look like. Now, we're going to have a section for videographers and a section for photographers as well. And you can be in both. If you want to have a page in photography and videography, not a problem. You just have to get me either Vimeo or YouTube links to your videos, and we'll throw them up, and we'll build this pretty quickly. We're not sure quite yet when this is going to go live, but this is definitely, we'd definitely like to have this up and going by the beginning of 2021. And I think with a good-looking, updated site and a lot more effort on the SEO side. If I have to read a book on SEO and do it myself, I will. So, so that's it. Any questions about the website?
Looks great. When will it be done?
Don't know. Well, the sooner I get, the sooner I get information from people. Okay. So that's it with the website. Any questions?
Looks great.
So you really used that picture?
I did.
That's my new girlfriend. That's the girlfriend
That is not Vera.
37-year-old girlfriend.
There we go. Okay. So, and also on a blurb here, so when anybody visits the website, they can read whatever you want to tell them. And if you're a shooter only, like Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Hall, I think that's what they will call them, shooters. And I think also it might be a good idea if you can get a bunch of testimonials from clients about your ability to, I think that kind of social proof will go a long way. So I think, because there are lots of people that are looking for just someone, an extra shooter. So you and Dave, is there anybody else here that's just a shooter? Or is everybody else edit?
I shoot and edit and
Yeah, I know.
everything. If it pays, I'm there.
Right. Okay, good. All right, let's move on. If there are no other questions about the website, we'll move on. Okay, save, done. Cool. All right. Let me get this up here. Okay, so, all right. So I'm going to go through some, I've sort of organized real estate videography into different upgrades and things that you can add to a video, and I'm going to show a lot of examples of those tonight. I've got about 9 videos to show tonight. So before we get into showing the videos, I want to just talk about sort of the guide rails on exactly how I'm approaching discussing this with everybody. So there's two basic modes here. One is I call the basic walk around, and it's basically, you got a gimbal. Most real estate videographers are basically just shooting with a gimbal. You rarely see a slider anymore. It's a gimbal, and usually they're shooting with this basic walk around. It's a very wide angle lens. I've seen it all the way down to on 35 millimeter, a 6 millimeter lens. The wider the better. 6, 7, 8 are really seem to be optimum in terms of shooting rooms. If you go narrow, if you don't go as wide as that, you have trouble getting the entire room, and it becomes a different looking thing. So usually the videos use one single cut of music, and there's usually some realtor contact at the end. So that's kind of like the basic approach, and I see a lot of those this exact thing, same thing on YouTube. So that's what I mean when I call a basic walk around. The next one I call an advanced walk around. Again, it's with a gimbal, but the difference is they're not just shooting with a wide angle lens, they're also getting detail shots. So they've got wide angle lens and then they'll get detail shots of a room as well. And I like that, personally, I like that mixing of perspectives. Not everything is just this big wide room. Again, they usually use one cut of music, and a lot of times there's a realtor on camera at the very, very beginning, just kind of doing an intro. Upgrades. One of the upgrades that I see is room by room features information. You know, they'll have a 3-bedroom house, and they'll go into the kitchen, and they'll describe the granite tabletops, and then they go into the den, and you know, in other words, there's information in either the bottom, usually the bottom left-hand corner of whatever the room features about the room they want you to know. So that's I'm calling that an upgrade. Another upgrade is aerial footage, drone footage. Now, as a real estate videographer, if you want to make drone footage part of your basic package, fine. There's no right or wrong here, but these, I consider that to be an upgrade because I see lots of videos, there's no drone footage, yeah.
Aren't like drones usually
Hold
a
up,
lot
wait.
more?
Quiet. What was the question?
Aren't drones a lot more steadier than usually handheld, even with a steady cam system or something like that?
Drones?
I find a lot of drone footage is just smooth. So can't you have the drone, the small miniature drone, fly through?
No, but you could, I mean, you could technically walk through a house with your drone, sure, if you wanted to.
Also, the chip is too small in the drone. You're gonna get better quality from a little mirrorless camera with a gimbal. Flying a drone through the house, you're gonna break something. And the chip is too small. Those drones are best. I've tried drones inside. They need too much light.
Yeah, they need a lot of
Better
light.
outside.
Realtor upgrades. All right, so a realtor tour. So a realtor tour is when the realtor is on camera throughout the video. Not every second of the video, but he comes in, another major room, he talks about the features of the room. So there are some realtors that actually feel comfortable in front of the camera or look good in front of the camera. That combination is a good one. They usually like to add that extra personal level so that the home buyers can see them and maybe, you know, bond a little bit better. The next realtor upgrade would be what I call a realtor narration. It doesn't necessarily have to be the realtor, it's somebody, but basically you don't see anybody and they just narrate from beginning to end. They just talk about all the features of the room. They don't shut up. So it's, and I've got an example of that I want to show you. Graphics upgrades. Text, graphics, combination, camera tracking, anything like that. After Effects templates that are incorporated, I'll show examples of that. Editing upgrades would be speed ramping to get from one part of the drone shot to the next. So I see all kinds of different kind of transitions, anything, you know, that takes extra time in the edit, you know, because if you're getting a certain number of dollars, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the edit, but these are upgrades that I see. Specialized editing and a storytelling style, which is something that you're going to hear about a little bit more in a bit. And also another editing upgrade is using more than one cut of music. There's one video I'm going to show you where they use 3 different musics in it, and it's nice the way it changes pace. It's another level of interest. Another upgrade I call neighborhood upgrades. You know, when someone buys a home, they don't just buy the home. They buy the restaurants, they buy the schools, shopping theater. You know, they want to live somewhere where there's, you know, things to do, places to eat. And so, you know, when I see decent neighborhood sections of a real estate video, I think it adds a lot to the final video. What do you think, Dan?
The video I'm going to show later, I did that in Westfield. Very upscale, expensive town. I actually did it just to impress them. I knew I was going to do more in Westfield, so I went and I got some drone shots in Westfield with some shots of stores and exactly what you're talking about, and they liked it.
People, they buy the restaurants in the area too. They want to know that they can drive 5 minutes to a good restaurant rather than, yeah, people are also buying the neighborhood. Okay, so,
This guy's good.
all right, before we get into Parker, because he's going to talk about how to shoot a $10 million home, and it's very interesting what he talks about. He's got 5 major points. They're all pretty good, interesting. Before we do that, let's start looking at a couple videos here. I'm going to go here. All right. Yeah, let's turn some lights down. All right. This first video, okay, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. This first video was done by a company in Toronto, and that's all they do are real estate videos. And I'll also show you their price list. They have their whole price list package. I'll be able to show you their price list package. Now what's interesting about this house, this is a 9.5 minute long video, and I'm not going to show you the whole video, it's too long. But he shot it in 9.5 minutes because he never stopped. He just walked through the entire house with his camera, never stopped. There's not a single edit until the end where he shows a little bit of a neighborhood, you know. This particular one, it's the basic walkthrough. It's just the gimbal, one piece of music for 9 minutes, which is way too long. There's no drone in it, and it has the realtor narration package. You'll be able to see an example of what that looks and feel like. And you may like that as a style that you want to do.
Welcome to 557 Marksbury Road, a magnificent custom-built executive home situated within the high-demand West Shore community of Pickering. With superb finishes inside and out, a custom 8 by 6 foot fiberglass double front entry is accented with wrought iron inserts and complete with a European 3-bolt locking system. Opening into a home showcasing Canadian-made hardwood flooring, waffled ceilings, exquisite crown moldings and trims, high-end contemporary light fixtures, and over 100 LED pot lights, as well as generously sized principal rooms and beautifully appointed private spaces. This is an entertainer's dream home. Its open concept design and ease of flow between the formal and informal rooms can easily accommodate large gatherings, yet is also perfect for intimate get-togethers, especially in the family room, which has the added warmth of a gas fireplace surrounded by a stacked stone cladding. A showpiece of luxurious design and craftsmanship, the kitchen is complete with custom cabinetry accented by LED lighting, a center island with vegetable sink and bar fridge, an exquisitely tiled backsplash and quartz countertops, and high-end appliances including a custom fridge freezer, an induction cooktop, as well as built-in dishwasher, wall oven, and microwave. And off the kitchen is a well-designed laundry and mudroom with a walk-in pantry, built-in cabinetry, access to the garage, and front-load washer and dryer.
Like this for
Between
9
the
minutes.
kitchen and family room is the garden door walkout onto a large stone patio with custom tempered glass and aluminum railing that steps down to another extensive stone patio in the backyard. And taking advantage of the abundance of warm natural lighting, throughout the home are oversized windows finished with custom Hunter Douglas
All right,
windows.
so we're not going to look at the whole thing. So that's, that's what, and like I said, this company, they do, a huge company, they do these things. And this is their main style. This is their main style. Yeah.
How do you think the narration came,
Give the mic.
how do you think the narration tied in with the shooting? I'm not clear.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but he started talking about the laundry room, and he was
So wait,
already
wait.
out of it, going through the
Well,
kitchen. He was still
I
talking about
was-
the laundry room.
I was curious if the Realtor wrote a script ahead of time and
Oh,
the
yeah.
shooter tried to stay up with the script, or whether the Realtor talked after
Well,
it was
the
shot,
shooter-
or what?
I don't know whether, I don't know which came first, to be honest with you, because at one point, he's walking out of the kitchen, so still talking about the kitchen, walks into the laundry room, is pulling out of the laundry room, and then he's starting to talk about the laundry room, and he's halfway across the kitchen before he starts talking about the kitchen again. So,
It bounced too much in that one.
what's that?
The bouncing.
Yeah, the camera, the gimbal work was like up and down all the way through.
He's walking.
He was walking, yeah, well, he should be duck walking, is what he should be doing. I don't know, I mean, obviously, a lot of time went into writing this whole flowery 9-minute script. I don't think the film, we can look on the price list when we get to the price list, whether that's an added feature on what they offer, but I suspect that the realtor wrote it. So again, you
But it
gotta have
seemed-
somebody who can write and who can do that.
But it seemed pretty well timed. I mean, most of the time, the narration was in sync with what you were seeing visually, so I'm just wondering how best to accomplish that.
Well, my guess is that she watched the picture and she read to the
That's what
picture.
I'm thinking probably.
He just kind of did a walkthrough in the house, or she recorded ahead of time and he would wear earbuds and he'd go through and, you know, either way, you know, I think that probably would be a more effective way. Anyway. Now, the other thing you should know about this, okay, now, the client paid, the realtor paid about $400 for this, give or take, Canadian dollars, so it's a little bit more American, right?
Oh, Parker Walbeck?
No, this company here, this company is called, the company was called something, Open House 24 is what they're called. It's a Toronto company. But what's interesting is that video you just saw had almost 4.5 million views. So they're also tied into YouTube. As a YouTube creator, they made between $16,000 and $17,000 on that video, on top of the 400. So I think that their prices, like 400, whatever it is, it's a lost leader, I think, because all their videos are on YouTube and they're all getting lots of views. So they're making money with YouTube as well, and that's another thing to think about. All right. The next one I want to show you is Rock Life Studios. It's a Jersey boy, John Santos. This particular one, it's I'm calling in advance to walk around. This one has the realtor tour package, so the realtor will pop in and out from time to time as he goes to major rooms. There's an editing upgrade in this one. John Santos loves speed ramping, so there's a lot of speed. It's too much in my personal opinion, but there's a lot of speed ramping in this. Music upgrade uses 3 pieces of music, 3 different pieces of music, and you notate that, you know, notice the change in mood as it's going through. I think it definitely helps when you change music up a little bit. And there's a graphics upgrade, so he's doing more than just typing text on the screen.
What is
Yes.
speed ramping?
Speed ramping is when the video's like this and it goes fast and stops. So if you do it right, you ramp into the speed up and you ramp out of it. If you do it wrong, you just cut and go fast and cut and go slow. So, but he does.
Sometimes a good speed ramp is like you have a boring part of the house, like a hallway, and you want to show the hallway, but it's boring. So you speed ramp through it so they get to see the hallway, and then, you know, sit there for 4 seconds to see a hallway.
I think, you know, with anything, less is more. And, you know, if there's too much speed ramping, to me, it just becomes distracting. But anyway, so this is a beautiful property down by the Jersey Shore. And again, 3 pieces of music. It's a lot of upgrades.
Did he move?
The upgraded graphics.
Hey everyone, Dan Carbonic with Keller Williams Realty here. Today we're on site at my newest luxury waterfront listing, the Diamond of Beach Haven West, 28 Bud Drive. Built in 2017 with right around 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms and 3 full bathrooms, and every builder's upgrade imaginable. This home has everything you need, from an entertainer's paradise to a work from home haven, and everything in between. Come on, let me show you around. Welcome to everybody's favorite room in the house, the kitchen. This is where you're going to do most of your entertaining and spend most of your time. It's gorgeously outfitted with these beautiful granite countertops, a full stainless steel appliance package from the built-in microwave all the way down to the stainless dishwasher. Come over here, check this out. A beverage fridge built right into the island, perfect for entertaining. All the cabinets have beautiful crown molding on the top. The island is big enough to fit 3 stools. Again, great for entertaining. Open floor plan to the living room. Come over here, check out this living room. Here you have gorgeous coffered ceilings with the LED mood lighting all around. You have a built-in gas fireplace, surround sound speakers built into the ceiling everywhere. Being in this room is like being in your own private movie theater. Right off the kitchen is your extra long deck, the entire width of the house, built with Trex floorboards, covered for the rain, built-in speakers out here as well. Enjoy the music while you watch the view. To top it off, the main floor is complete with an extra family room, which can also double as a bedroom. a full bathroom, and a laundry room. Here on the top floor, the stairs open up to this awesome loft area that doubles as an absolutely perfect work from home space. When you're ready for a break, a few steps away is your balcony. Let's take a look at the 3 bedrooms on this floor. This master bedroom features a full-size walk-in closet and an ensuite full bathroom with double sinks. So down here on the ground floor, we have your standard 2-car garage, which the owner has turned into an absolutely stunning, one-of-a-kind entertainer's paradise. So here I am behind the custom-built wet bar with gorgeous granite countertops and seating for at least 10 people. Check this out. A roll-up window for indoor-outdoor entertaining with 3 more seats outside. Come check this out. When you're done getting your drink, come on over here to your dedicated lounge area with flat-screen TV to watch games, movies, whatever you want. Heating and cooled for comfort in every season of the year. But the party's not over yet. Follow me out to the patio. Check out this space. You will never feel crammed with all this room. Area for a grill over here, space to enjoy a meal. When you're done with that, head over to your Trex deck and enjoy the sunset over the lagoon. After that, head on over here for a relaxing sit in your hot tub. When you're done with that and you're ready to go in for the night, hop on over here to rinse off in your oversized outdoor shower. Well, that's all the time we had for today. I hope you really enjoyed this tour. If you'd like to schedule a private showing, please contact me directly, 732-814-2948. I hope to see you soon.
Okay. I think that a lot of what looked initially like speed ramps was actually just transition effects, special transition. Because programming a good speed ramp isn't like a 30-second operation. It takes a good 3, 4, 5 minutes to program one speed ramp. It's not that easy, and doing a lot of that just takes a lot of time. But a lot of these things were actually visual effects that you can just drop in over the top of your edit, and it will do it for you. So. What did everybody think of that video? Any comments? Anything you want to say at all about? Yes, Karen.
I feel he moved too much.
I thought so too. A little too
Everything was
distracting.
moving.
Yes.
Wait.
Oh, no, I don't need a mic. I don't,
Oh yeah. You're live. You're live.
yeah, I don't need a mic. He's wanted. We'll just can't be on camera. I was,
Zoom in on that man. Zoom in on that man.
oh, no, not zoom in. Besides taking away from what people say, I want to say, I just thought that was an amazing, that was very well shot. That was good. No one could say that was amateur. That was pretty
No,
good.
no.
I like it.
That was really good.
No, John Santos
If
is
I
a good
shot
guy.
video like that, I don't know. I would walk around like I was somebody. That was pretty good.
This guy is one of the top people. This is a top, what's his name?
John Santos.
He's one of the top people. What's his name?
No, wait a minute, where?
His name is
Okay,
John-
all right,
John has
all
a
right,
very-
you know what? I got confused. I thought he was a Parker guy.
No.
Okay.
John Sanders from New Jersey. He used to be into weddings.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
out of
he's
weddings
smart to
now.
get out
He's
of
doing
weddings.
Corporate. He's not doing weddings anymore.
Yeah.
He's already. I saw on his website he's already not taking anything for 2021. So.
Couple questions, I don't know,
Yeah.
what is that house selling for? What does he charge? And how long was that video?
I was about 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was good. And the realtor was very good on camera.
Yeah.
Very good. Not a lot of them
So the
aren't.
question I have for the room is if you're getting involved with a realtor and he says, I want to write, I want to do it on camera throughout, do you just let him do his thing, or do you ask to get that script ahead of time so you can look it over and make sure that it's not stupid? Because these guys, the chances are they're not a script writer, and they could shoot themselves in the foot if you just allow them to say whatever they wrote down. I would always take it in, look at it, and polish it. And I would also advise, if you're going to get into, if you're not going to write the script, you're going to tweak what a client gives you. if you're not sure, always hand it off to someone who will look, another pair of eyes, like an editor. Like I'm fortunate I have Tracy, she does that for me. But have someone, an editor take a look at it so the English language isn't mangled, nothing is too bad, because, someone watching that can get turned off by a poorly phrased or poorly written script anyway. But that takes extra time. When you're going to add this kind of thing, it's extra play. It's not walking 9 minutes to a house with a gimbal. It's a lot more involved. So,
Do you know what he charges?
I don't know what John Santos charges.
We should call him.
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to come speak at a meeting, and he says, he's too intimidated.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I don't know, weird. All right. So, all right, the next video I want to show you. This is one of my favorite filmmakers. Let me just scoot ahead a little bit here. Okay. This is a company out in Vancouver called Fresh Finish Media. They've won multiple years in a row for Best Wedding Filmmakers. They do corporate, they do everything. He does real estate as well. In this particular video, doesn't use a gimbal at all, which is interesting. No gimbal. And he uses what I call a family vignettes upgrade. The family is part of the video. So instead of just seeing an empty house with furniture all, he actually directs and gets the family involved. And you'll see in this particular one, there's a huge picture window overlooking the Canadian Rockies, and he's got two people sitting on a couch appreciating the view of the Rockies. And that's, to me, is a lot more powerful. As a home buyer, I see that. You're connecting to the lifestyle. It helps to connect to the lifestyle that you would have living in that house. And also editing upgrade. He does a lot of fancy things too, especially in his editing. Thoughts? Very, very different type of real estate video. Thoughts, anybody? You like it, not like it?
Well, I was thinking that it's like night and day difference between the two. This one, you don't think it's a real estate video. It's a video about a people. It's a video about the family or whatever. And I never approve of that shaky video of like showing bad, out of focus spots of things like that. Either you decide, either you do the whole video like that as an amateur, or you do the whole thing as a professional.
I thought it was well done. I just find the people distracting. I don't care about these people. I want to see the house. I want to buy the house. I want to see the house. They're distracting. But I thought it was a well done piece, though.
What do you think of the music, Dan?
I'm gonna cut the line real fast. I think it was too much of the family. If you had the family maybe in 1 or 2 shots of them like playing in the backyard or like watching TV, then that's fine. But them being throughout the whole video and pouring the drinks and like you say, the like shaky video and like it seemed like a dream montage or something like that.
Where's the house?
Yeah, like and it wasn't enough of the house for me.
Well, Al, can I just address that? When people are buying a house, all right, I think the major goal of a real estate videographer is to make the house interesting enough for the people to want to call and come see it for real. No one buys a house from a video unless they're in a job situation and they have to buy a house, job unseen, sight unseen because they're moving in the neighborhood. But the point of the video is to get people to say, you know, that house looks interesting. That's why I don't think like when you're showing a house, you shouldn't shoot every single room. If it's got a tiny little bathroom that's really not impressive, don't do it. Only do the most impressive rooms. You just want to tease them. Think of it more like as a movie trailer. You just want to give them enough so they go, oh, that looks kind of interesting. So I think what he was trying to do with this is just go, I agree with you. I think he went a little too far with the people. I'm going to show you another one of his where he doesn't go that far with it. He just wanted, he's trying to draw in the, again, there are a lot of people doing real estate videos, and they're all doing them very similarly. And so if you're going to get yourself work, you got to find a way to separate yourself from them because it really, they all start to look the same after a while. A gimbal, one piece of music, we're walking around the room, boom, done. You know, anybody can do that. You know, I kind of like the way that he's taking this kind of more artistic approach to it. You know, he's trying to create an ambience. He's trying to create a little buzz. I tell you, that one view looking out over the mountains, you know, over that couch. I mean, that almost sold me on the house right there. So, anyway, no, but I agree. It's not style is not for everybody. Anybody else? Comments? Yes.
I hated the music. I was waiting for the killer to come out. I was like, where is it gonna happen? Is it here? I felt like the killer was gonna come out. I felt that a little too. I think the move from the music, it was too dramatic. It's like, okay, the killer's gonna come out here.
From a horror movie, like something was about to go wrong.
Yeah, okay.
This
All right.
was like, you know, this was the happy times, and then something bad just about to happen at any moment. Boom.
Boom. All right. So I'm going to show you another one of his films.
Cut to the scene, the house is on fire.
Okay. This one is a little different. This one, again, he has some family vignettes in there. He uses a realtor introduction on this one. Fancy graphics, fancy editing, and he also is putting little features on the rooms when you went, so you know that, oh, this has got this, room has got that, so the room features. So this is another. Yeah, all After Effects, yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Nick Litsenko with Remax Vernon, and I just want to personally welcome you to 7425 Dixon Dam Road here in Vernon, British Columbia. This property is situated on a picturesque 4.96 acres. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and an oversized heated garage. Why don't you come inside and I'll give you a tour.
much better.
Just enough for the family.
Music was better.
The music was a little more upbeat, so it carried it. You know, if it's done tastefully, a little family vignette's not a bad thing. If you got a good-looking family, they can pull it off. I don't know whether they're actors or not, you know, to be honest with you. I don't know whether they went that extent, but.
Right, they were much better.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so that's, you know, I want to expose you to different stuff. Here's another, the next one I like a lot. It's very different from that. This one is done by a company out in Utah called Utah Aerial. Again, you can see it's got the neighborhood. It's got a nice little neighborhood section. Upgraded edit, use the After Effects walkthrough. Shot very, very well. It really is. After Effects. Thoughts? Yeah.
You know, obviously very impressive. How long does it take to do those type of titles? What are they called, and is it time consuming? Just After Effects?
Well, you know, the first two, the one with the address on the street, you could actually do that in Premiere Pro by
Right.
just kind of automating a crop, all right? The same thing with the second one with the car, but it really doesn't take, once you know how to do it, you can do it pretty quickly. 5 minutes maybe at the most in order to do it.
5 minutes, okay. So to put a title on the wall.
Put a title on the wall that stays well. I kind of, I like that, you know,
Yeah.
where it's moving with it seems like it's part of the movement rather than, you know, something just sort of floating in the corner, but.
What do you use, Dan, for your editing?
Adobe Premiere and just basic titling. This is not my forte. I'm not a super duper editor like Bill, but I like those type of titling. I did hire a guy who did that for me once, and it seemed like a big deal, and you know, so a lot of this stuff, if the budget's not there, I'll do it myself, and some of that I don't know how to do.
Any other questions before we go into the next section here?
How much do you charge for something like that? Ballpark idea, not $400.
Well, we're going to get into pricing in a minute, all right? After Parker, we're going to get into the pricing thing. And then after that, we're going to get into how to get real estate agents. This guy's name is Brendan Washington. I just discovered him. But he has a very solid technique of finding realtors for clients. So, yeah.
I think this video was a lot better. I mean, the previous one showed, I didn't like the previous one as much as this one. This one, at least, in the previous one, I was thinking they're showing the shower with the two heads and stuff, but the water's not running. In this one, he had the water running, which was smart, I think.
I think you always run the water when you're in a bathroom.
And the other one had a lot of close-up shots. This one, halfway through, I was thinking that, okay, he's not showing a lot of indoors. And then finally, he did show a lot. The second half was full of just indoors. But the other thought that I started thinking about in the past few videos is, how much time are people really going to sit and watch? Are they going to watch past the first minute? Because after watching 3 or 4 of them with the house, you know, house hunting or looking through real estate videos, the 5th and 6th and 7th one, are they really going to go past 1 minute of viewing?
Well, you know, it's interesting. We saw a lot of different styles today. You know, different people are, you know, they're all trying to elicit, they're trying to be informational and show you the rooms, but they need to get you to feel an emotion, you know, and maybe some people will respond to the guy in Vancouver's style, some will respond to this. It really, it's, you know, all kinds of people. Who responds emotionally, who, you know, we get a bigger, I happen to like the fresh finished media ones. I just seem to get, just something emotionally clicks with me with those houses. But again, there's no right or wrong, just whatever you feel. Am I mic on? Hello, there it is. That's why I can't hear myself. Fell off. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to watch, is everybody here familiar with Parker Walbeck? Yeah, okay. So let's just show you. He's going to talk about, it's about about 10.5 minute long. It talks about how to shoot a $10 million home. It gives you lots of different tips on how to shoot a home. So let's give it a look.
Now, typically on real estate shoots, I will show up before the sun rises, get a few shots, then right as the sun's coming up, I'll cram as many shots as I can during that golden hour. Then I'll usually wrap up shooting the whole house about 3 or 4 hours later, and if possible, I'll usually return to the home later that evening to shoot again at golden hour, and for the half hour following the sunset during twilight or blue hour to get shots showing off the outdoor lighting. So by shooting a variety of lighting scenarios, I'll sometimes have 3 or 4 of the same shot, but shot at different times a day. For example, check out this shot taken before sunrise, during sunrise, midday, sunset, and twilight. Each has things about it that you could like, but in this case, personally, I loved the twilight shot the best as it showcased the exterior lighting, and so I chose that one for my final video. But had I only shot the first shot before sunrise, when it was windy and the water wasn't very glassy and there weren't any exterior lights on yet, it would have still worked, but definitely wouldn't have popped like some of the other takes, and therefore would have taken away from the overall production value of this video. So when you're trying to sell a product for millions of dollars, you want to show it off in its best light, pun intended. intended. So personally, I think it's worth it to take the extra couple hours to over-deliver for your client and make sure you revisit important features of the house for multiple takes in different lighting situations. As another example, the client said that for some rooms, they thought the lighting would look best during twilight, so I made sure to capture it in those lighting scenarios. However, it was a good thing that I captured those rooms during sunrise as well, because the sunrise shots ended up looking a lot prettier despite what the client previously had thought. So don't be afraid to get multiple shots in multiple lighting scenarios. Now, on this topic of lighting, one of the trickiest things to get right in real estate videos is your exposure. I constantly get people asking me how I get my exposures to look right, and half of the battle is choosing the best lighting and utilizing that natural light as best you can. But the other half of the battle is dialing in your settings correctly. For real estate, I shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, 1/25th of a shutter, 2.8 aperture, 100 ISO, and then I bump my ISO if it's too dark or bump my aperture if it's too bright.
So the biggest thing to keep in mind as you're going from room to room is I'm constantly changing white balance in your exposure. So whether that's bumping my aperture from filming outside to inside, going from f13 to f2.8, and then having to change the white balance from 5600 to, in this kitchen, this kind of split lighting, so it's like 4700 on the white balance. So just constantly looking at your exposure and your colors and just shifting them as you need.
And on a side note, I've actually stopped using autofocus for real estate shoots because too often it would focus hunt mid-shot, and if I didn't catch that while watching it back on my LCD screen, then I had a crappy focus hunting shot to deal with in post. So I use manual focus, go to the spot where the main part of the shot will be, manually set my focus to the part of the room that I want my viewer to be focused on, which is usually the back wall of that room. Then I back up to the beginning and then start my movement. But coming back to exposure, I've also started shooting in 10-bit C-Log to increase my dynamic range and give me more flexibility with adjusting my exposure and colors in post. Now, shooting C-Log does increase my workflow time as I spend a lot more time tweaking the image in post, but ultimately I think it makes the image turn out better, and we'll talk about coloring in the next tip. But when exposing for real estate, it's obviously ideal to have both outside and inside exposed properly, but some rooms just aren't lit well enough, and you're going to have to blow out your windows a little bit in order to make the room look bright and inviting. So I personally always prioritize exposing for indoors unless I'm focusing on the outdoor view through the windows, then I'll obviously expose for the outside lighting. So you kind of just have to fill this out based on each individual room. Some rooms have a lot of natural light, and those can usually expose for both in and out, and those make for some of the prettiest real estate shots. Some have just a little bit of natural light, which you usually end up overexposing outside just a little bit to make the inside look bright enough, and sometimes there's hardly any natural light and you have to completely blow out the windows or cover them with blinds in order to see the room well. Or try and come back during a different time of day when hopefully the lighting between inside and outside match a little bit better. But let's now talk about probably the next biggest challenge I see on real estate shoots, and that is white balance and color correction. After being on these two shoots back to back, I realized that out of all the types of videos I shoot, real estate shoots are probably the hardest to nail white balance because you usually have a lot of mixed lighting, meaning most rooms have 5600 Kelvin daylight coming in through the windows, and then usually have cheap 3000 Kelvin lights lighting up the inside of the house, giving you all kinds of nasty hues. So you get all these weird color mixtures in your footage that you don't see with your eyes because your eyes have much better dynamic range and color balancing than a camera. And every room you walk into is different, so you're constantly adjusting color. And definitely don't use auto white balance or auto exposure, or else you're going to end up with something like what one of our FTF members posted the other day in our group, which is going to give you a heyday in post trying to correct those colors. Now, typically with real estate videos, a lot of the walls are white, so the goal for me is to make those whites look white. And the problem I'll often face is once I get to the editing room and start color correcting, I notice that most of the walls have a nasty orange or yellow or green hue on them from the cheap lights in the house. So what I'll typically do is color correct my clip as best I can, balancing the colors to look as normal as possible. Then I'll usually go into HSL secondary, select the hue on the wall that I want to get rid of, and then desaturate that specific color. Now be careful, if there are other things in the room with that same color like wood or outside like the trees, then you might not be able to get rid of it completely or desaturate it just a little bit, or else you'll get rid of some important colors. But moving on to the next thing I learned is the importance of clean composition and movement. Each room that I approach, I think, what is the best angle to show this room that makes it look big and makes my viewer feel like they have a good idea of what it feels like to actually walk through that room? So when I show up to a room, I usually always do a push-in shot to mimic someone walking into the room, and I like to use the door in the foreground to give the viewer context context that they are now entering the room. And a lot of times I'll also add a slight pan to showcase more of the room. For example, check out these two shots of the same room, one with just a straight push-in and one with a push-in and a slight pan. Notice on the one with the slight pan, you end up seeing more of the room and are able to see all 4 walls, versus the other shot, you only see 3 out of the 4 walls. On this note, make sure to use wide-angle lenses. I shot this whole video at 16mm on a full-frame camera. I'd say that's about as tight as you want to go. And while doing these push-ins and slight pans to capture all the room, pay attention to your vertical lines. Unless you're tilting down or up to show off a view or the ceiling, you typically want your camera to have no tilt so as to keep all of your vertical lines perfectly straight. This is why I like using the Ronin on real estate videos, because it's a lot easier to lock that tilt versus a glide cam isn't going to have quite as perfect of lines. So this is one of the times that I prefer that roboticness of the motorized gimbal. But shifting focus now to drone shots, composition and movement becomes a bit trickier to pull off, but I find myself redoing a shot multiple times until I get a fluid movement down with spot on composition. If the house isn't front and center of my image, I'll redo it until it is. And I'll try out different heights with the drone about 10 feet above the ground, 20 feet above the ground, 40 feet above the ground, so that I have some options that show more of the view if there is one, options that focus more on the house and less on the roof. And a typical mistake I see in real estate videos is that most drone shots are usually too high and focus too much on the roof. These type of shots are great for showing a bird's eye view of the whole property or for showing off a view, but once you've done that in 1 or 2 shots, I'd focus the rest of your shots on showcasing the exterior walls of the house at the level of the house. And you want to be careful as you're doing drone shots like parallaxes that your house is remaining in the middle of your frame and that you're not starting to drift into the neighbor's yard. Now, as for movements, common mistake is to make movements too quick. You want your movements to be fast enough so that you can tell you're moving, but not too fast to where it feels like you can't quite soak in what you're watching because you're moving too quickly. Which brings me to my last and final tip, and that is storytelling. A common problem I see with real estate videos is the video doesn't chronologically make sense. The video should replicate what it's like if you were to take a tour through that home. What does that process usually look like? Well, you usually drive your car to the front of the home, you get to see it from the front exterior, then you walk in the front door, then walk through the kitchen and great room, then look at anything else on the main floor, then you head upstairs, then you head downstairs, then you head to the backyard, then you take one last peek at your favorite features before going back outside to the front and driving away. So as I edit together my real estate videos, I have that sequence in my mind and piece together a story of virtually touring the home. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly in that order, but you get the idea. Make the edit make sense as much as possible so that the viewer doesn't get confused as to where they are in the home. So there you have a few things that were on my mind while I filmed these massive, beautiful homes. Like I mentioned, I'll show you the 1-minute Instagram versions at the end of this video, and to see the entire voiced over videos that the client put on the MLS, along with the full virtual job shadow of my whole day shooting that $10 million home, make sure to check out our mini course, Real Estate Video Pro, or all of our mini courses are included in our full online film school, Full-Time Filmmaker. Links are in the descriptions to join and start taking your videos to the next level and to start landing higher paying clients. And if you have any further questions, please let me know.
Questions?
Yeah, questions? So, he did a little speed ramping in there, but it was timed perfectly. It wasn't gratuitous, it wasn't overdone. He had a couple speed ramps, less is more, and where he put the speed ramps made sense. To me, it made sense where we're in. It didn't overdo it. Any thoughts at all? Yes.
I think by far he's one of the, no mic, I don't want to touch the mic. I think by far he's one of the best, I forgot, you need that for the video, sorry, I wasn't being a video guy. I think by far he's one of the best teacher when it comes to some of the videos that he's good at, like real estate and I think some drone stuff and some gimbal stuff. Like he's really good at teaching it. I find in this game there's people that are good at shooting it and doing it, and there's some people that are good at teaching it. I think is one of the people that's definitely worth taking some of his courses, especially Black Friday when it's cheap. That's it.
Any other questions?
All right, so let's take a look, before we get into this next thing, let's take a look at a couple price sheets here. Go back here. Actually, it's already open. All right. Boom. Okay, so this is the pricing sheet for a company called, what do they call it? They're called Videography or something. Anyway, this is a New Jersey company, and they have 3 packages, 200, 350, and 550. The teaser package, you know, it's full HD, 45 seconds in length. They promise to turn around in 3 days, 1 piece of music. And then they automatically will upload to Zillow. And I mean, I've never uploaded to Zillow, but I'm sure it's an easy process. You know, the 350, you know, it's longer, and they include detail shots, so they spend a little more time shooting. They have text overlays, and the premium package, which is their most popular, looks a lot like the base package, but you also get drone shots. All right. So that gives you a little bit of idea. We're going to get deeper into pricing in a minute. The Canadian company, the first video we saw with the narration all the way through, this is what they have, 3 packages with add-ons. And again, this is based on a Canadian dollar, so it's in US dollars, it's about 30% more. Their basic video tour is 300. But they're also including photos. You get 20 HDR photos with it as well. 475, it's a walkthrough with a voiceover description. That's kind of, I think that's the one we saw, that one. 475, you get 25 HDR pictures. 400, et cetera. So you can see what that's about.
Isn't that pretty cheap though for, if you're like looking at Parker Wallbeck that has, all right, but still it's only 30% more.
So
Okay.
let's get into that. And the next guy's going to get into that in detail. He's going to get pricing in detail. But basically, I bet Parker Wallbeck is getting between $5,000 and $10,000 to shoot a $10 million home.
Yeah, because if you're gonna come back in morning, noon, night.
He's there all day long. He shoots drone shots. He shoots the house all day long.
You think 5,000?
Well, yeah. I think between 5 and 10. You know, what I've sort of deduced here, and again, Brandon's going to go through it in a second, but if you have a $5,000, what does a realtor make on a $500,000 house? All right, it's a 6% commission. It's a 6% commission. He has to split with the listing agent as well. So 6% of 500,000 is 30 grand. So he's got to split the 30 grand with the listing agents. Now there's 15 left.
And they split it with the.
And then at the end of the day, usually he does, the worst case scenario from what I understand is a 60-40 split. So on a $500,000 house, a realtor's going to make $9,000. And of course, he's got to do his marketing and everything else out of that. And I don't know how much realtors on average spend on marketing, but I'm thinking like getting paid $100 per $100,000 listing price is approximately where you want to be. So for a $500,000 house, you make $500. If it's $1 million house, you're making $1,000. I mean, that's sort of it's kind of what.
Yeah, 0.1%.
0.001% of the price, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if it's $1 million, you get what, 10,000?
$10,000. Now, for that $10,000, you better be throwing in every single upgrade you could possibly. You know, it's not a 9-minute walkthrough with a gimbal, you know, but still. Anyway, all right, so let's look at the next video, which I thought was very, very informative. Any questions? Yeah.
When they say Instagram ready video,
Right.
are they talking vertical video or are they talking for IGTV?
Probably IGTV.
So in other words, just video.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I haven't seen what he did. I don't know whether he squeezes it all into a square or what he does, but, or maybe he's just making it 60 seconds long, because that's kind of like the way it used to be with Instagram.
Well, the first guy showed the new Jersey pricing, they had video format supported by Instagram. So I was just wondering if they do vertical video somehow.
Maybe.
Yeah, the New Jersey price list had video supported by Instagram. So I was just wondering if they do vertical video or whether it's just for Instagram TV, which is just normal video.
I haven't seen real estate video on Instagram. I didn't really think to look, but that's...
Yeah, but then they put few seconds on Instagram.
Because Instagram...
Yeah, they don't put this long videos, about 30 seconds, that's it.
60 seconds is the limit on Instagram. But I think real estate is not vertical video. Real estate is...
And you can do, I mean, I put on stuff on IGTV all the time, and it's 16 by, you know, it's...
So it's probably just a marketing thing, saying, hey,
probably.
Instagram. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Instagram used to be 60 seconds only, it can go much longer now. All right, so this next one, this guy...
question.
Yeah, shoot.
Jeez, I lost my hearing aid. Hi, I've been quietly sitting back there absorbing. Thanks. Amazing, amazing. I was assuming, and I was, maybe I missed it, that we'd be seeing a demonstration of you in virtual tour with a 360 camera. Now, technically, that's not video. I guess maybe that's why I don't have that. I was just thinking maybe that's something that a lot of photographers, maybe that's the key. The photographers.
The professional unit is called the Manaport, and Dan back here has done Manaport. So if you want to pick his brains on that,
You're doing that.
You can.
The other thing is, I just really started. I've done a lot of architectural photography. I started doing some real estate using high-resolution photography and keyframing.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously it's not quite the same thing, but to the experience, it almost looks like video. I mean, I can't go around corners, right? I was just wondering, is anybody just doing keyframing photography? What I like about that is I better could control the lighting.
So you shoot with medium format, or I mean, what kind of resolution are these photos that you're shooting?
I'm sorry.
What's the resolution of the photos that you're if you're going to keyframe and zoom?
Well, I'm using a Canon 5D Mark II, and I have it the highest raw resolution. But of course, lighting is. But this is great stuff, and of course, I have a drone too. But telling the story and having compelling music, it's great. So I guess I don't have a question other than what we're going to talk about those other techniques.
I wasn't going to get into 360.
Okay.
I've never used a 360 camera, but like I said, Dan has done Manaport.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants the microphone? Oh, by the way, Jim O'Keefe. Hi, good to see you guys again.
Good to see you.
Jim, Al has the 360. You know Al, right?
I still didn't hear, sorry.
Al Ritando has the 360. He shoots 360. You should talk to him.
Yeah. Let's do it offline. Okay, thanks again.
Okay. Anybody else? Any comments? Anybody want to say anything? All right. So here's Brandon Washington. I just discovered this guy. I thought he was kind of interesting. So let's give it a listen. So how to make $3K a week.
See, check this out. money is just numbers, and all you have to do is the math, and you can figure out how to get to any number at any amount of time. For example, if we want to make $3K a week, that pretty much means that we need to shoot some real estate videos. So how do you price them, and how many do you need to do? Well, let's say you price your real estate videos at $500. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, $500, that's really, really expensive. Some of you guys might be thinking, $500, that's it? And you know what? No matter which way you think, it's still a good number. So $500 is a great starting point for shooting real estate videos, but you gotta figure out how many real estate videos you need to shoot a week in order to make that 3K. Well, at $500, that just equates to 6 real estate videos a week. Now, that's really not that much, because shooting real estate videos, and on my honest opinion, isn't super difficult. It's actually quite easy, and I can typically shoot an entire house in about an hour and a half. So this means I can easily shoot 4 real estate videos a day. But let's say you want to be more cautious with your time, you want more time with the family, or to go to the bar with your friends, or just be able to live life. Well, let's say we shoot 2 real estate videos a day. At 2 real estate videos a day at $500 a pop, you only need to shoot for 3 days. 6 real estate videos will get you there. But what do you do with the other 5 days? Well, you pretty much kick back, chill, just do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're only gonna need to shoot 6 real estate videos at $500 a piece. Now, I already know what you're asking. How do I go about finding real estate agents who are gonna allow me to shoot real estate videos for them for $500? See, the key to being able to charge $500 for a real estate video has all to do with the types of houses that you're shooting. So if you're shooting a house that has a bigger price tag on it, the real estate agent is going to be making a bigger commission, which ultimately means they have a bigger marketing budget in order to spend, which ultimately then you get some of that marketing budget to go towards the video. So how much are we looking for? We're looking for houses that start at $500,000. Now I know what you're thinking, $500,000? That's a lot of money to only be charging $500 for a listing video. But let me break down how that money actually equates to dollars to the real estate agent. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to forget all of this if I don't read it off this it's just a notebook with numbers on it. All right, so how does that money break down? Well, if the house costs $500,000, typically that commission is going to be 6%. Now, that 6% doesn't just go to the listing agent who you're probably shooting the video for. It actually goes to both the listing agent and the buying agent. They have to split that. So 6% of $500,000 is going to be $30,000. You split that in half and you get your $15,000. Now I know what you're thinking. A real estate agent makes $15,000 off of listing a house? Well, kind of. They do make that in a commission, but that money has to go a lot of different ways. For example, if an agent has just like one of the worst kind of deals with a broker, they could be living in like a 60-40 split. And this is kind of almost worst case scenario. So if they're doing a 60-40 split, this means that the agent is going to keep 60% of that commission, and then the broker is actually going to keep 40% of that commission, meaning that the agent will walk away with $9,000. So when the real estate agent, so when the real estate agent sees a $500,000 house, they're really thinking, I'm walking away with around $9,000. Well, if your commission is only $9,000, you might be a little more cautious with how much you want to spend on a video, but that doesn't mean that $500 is too far out of your budget, especially if that video is going to help you sell that house faster. Okay, so numbers, money. Okay, $500 for $500,000 house, cool. But how do we actually get those agents? I'm so glad you asked. How do we get those agents? We go to Zillow. So once you get on Zillow's website, you're just gonna do a search for listings in your area. And let me tell you how you wanna go about this. First, you wanna go over to their site. You wanna start to act like you're looking for a house to purchase. You're not really, but you want to act like you're looking for a house to purchase. And then you want to look at the options to filter out certain houses. You don't want any houses for less than $500,000. This is going to repopulate the map, and then ultimately you will be able to see all the houses that are currently on the market for at least $500,000, and now you have your starting point. What you want to do at this point is to go through and find all the real estate agents who have listings of $500,000 or more, and you want to send them an email, but you want to be very careful with how you send them an email because they get tons of emails. How you choose to reach out to them is completely up to you. Email, DM, find them on LinkedIn, or call their number that's probably located somewhere on the page because ultimately they're trying to sell a house, so they need to be able to be contacted. But what you want to do is find these agents and not just say, hey, can I shoot a video for you? But you want to say, can I shoot a video for you for this specific house? You can use all the elements you're learning from Zillow to help you in your approach. So for example, if the house has been on the market for 3 weeks, you can send them a message that says something along the lines of, dear so-and-so, so-and-so, I've noticed that you've had X house on the market for the last 3 weeks. I'm a videographer local to the area and I would love to help you sell this home even faster. I'm currently running a special. It's not really a special, it's just the price that you're gonna charge. I'm currently running a special to make listing videos for homes for only $500, a savings of $250. Again, that may not actually be your rate, but it really doesn't matter. Put in some extra little fluff, yeah, would love to work with you, blah, 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 blah. Here's a link to my work. Show them obviously that you know what you're doing, and then press send. Now, here is the hard part. You are going to probably need to send out about 20 emails to get those 6 listings. 6. This is 6, not this. What is this? Who's got 2 thumbs and is really, really jacked up on coffee? This guy. So yeah, so you're probably gonna need to send out about 20, maybe even 30 emails in order to get those 6 listings. But I know what you're saying now. Well, Brandon, eventually I will have emailed every single person on Zillow. I seriously doubt that you'll get to that point, but you might. Let's say you do get to that point. Well, you have done something that most people are not gonna be willing to do, and that is take the first step to get business. See, a lot of real estate agents are super busy and they don't have time to be just scrolling through social media. So this means sometimes your ads aren't gonna really work. Any good agent selling houses with a decent value are probably gonna be too busy to interact with those ads. So this means you have to make the first step. You have to reach out to them, and this is the best way to do it. Finding agents that are already listing high-priced homes that allow you to charge a reasonable amount, like $500, for your listing videos, so then you can make at least $3K a week. Now, $3K a week is just a starting point because eventually you'll get to the point where the snowball has picked up where you're not only finding new agents, but you're also getting repeat business from the previous agents, and that's when things get so much easier. You actually may find yourself, like myself, where you get to a point where you're not even reaching out to new agents anymore because you're just trying to manage the agents that you already have. So take all these tips into consideration, use them to find new agents, get yourself more business, and ultimately take your real estate business to the next level. Now, you might be thinking, well, I hear what you're saying, Brandon, but what if my real estate videos suck? And hey, you know what? You shouldn't say that about yourself. It's okay if your real estate videos suck, because I've created an entire training course to teach you how to make them better. Shameless plug. Over on my website, the Creative Fam Academy, I am releasing an entire training course on how to shoot real estate video. But more importantly, and something I think a lot of you will actually take into consideration, is that this training course also has an entire business section to it as well. So if you want to know how to actually shoot better listing videos, but also you want to know the business side of that, including how to send contracts, invoices, and all the other good stuff that you need to know in order to make shooting real estate videos an actual business, I highly recommend you check out the links down below in the description. Check it out, and if you catch it before it launches, you actually get some early bird pricing. So definitely check out the links down below in the description. Click them. Click the link down low. Trust me, just go click it. Click on the link. But there you have it, guys. I hope this video was super helpful. If you have any other questions, leave those down in the comments. I'll try to answer them in a future video. And if you're a real estate agent watching this video and you need someone to shoot some real estate video for you in the Houston area, I've got a special deal for you.
Okay. All right, so his approach on using Zillow is pretty solid. From what I can see, it makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Dan, have you ever used Zillow to look for work?
No, and I've got to do it. I've been hesitating. I know, that's a great approach he's using. I haven't done it. I do telemarketing, I'm going to talk about that.
But yeah, that's really good.
So tell us about your telemarketing approach.
Let me get into the whole thing.
All right, good. Dan Bitcon, ladies and
Should I do
gentlemen.
it now?
He's
All right.
our resident real estate
All right,
video
do I
guy.
have to wear this mask? Oh, man. Listen to me. The video I'm going to, be quiet, Jason. The video I'm going to show you is not as good as those. But, but my personality is better, though. All right. Yeah. Personality makes a difference. We got to be salespeople. All right. I got notes here. I'm moving around. Okay. Some of you guys know me, some don't.
What's your name again?
Bitcon. So, okay, video I've been doing a long time, photography about 10 years, okay? So I wanted to piss off all the photographers that were annoying me over the years. So I learned photography 10 years ago. And I decided I'm not doing weddings. I'm not photographing weddings. I do headshots and real estate. And I'm not here to talk about real estate photography, but I am doing more of that than video, because realtors are cheap. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. It can be challenging, because you just went through the numbers. Yeah, they're not, you know, that $9,000, and they're gonna maybe make a postcard and do a mailing, so they're spending money, and they may not sell the house. They may not. I've hired realtors that could not sell something. You give it to someone else. So let me see here. Okay, Bill touched on this earlier. I have 3 styles. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, simple. Go in there with a gimbal, simple gimbal, little mirrorless camera, and float through the house. Come back, put music on it, pretty simple, no drone, couple $100. I don't do a whole lot of those. Level 2 would be I get the voiceover from the realtor. This is tricky. Bill talked about this also, about they can't write scripts. And if they're paying me $400 or $500, I don't want to write a script. But I help them with it. They write bullet points. I go to the home. They read the script. They're not on camera. I then lay in the narration later that they did, which can be tricky because sometimes how I'm shooting the house, going through the rooms, it may be out of order. So it gives me a little bit of a challenge with the editing. The next level is they're on camera. I think being on camera for a realtor, if they're good, it helps their branding. And that one shore house, that guy was really good on camera. It's difficult being on camera, and a lot of people have a difficult time with it. So if they're good on camera and they're comfortable, it's good for their branding. It's a really good way to do it. I'm happy with $500. I'm getting $500. I'll throw in some drone work. I'm there about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I usually do it alone. Chris has helped me a couple times, which was great. We bring a slider that sometimes we use, sometimes we don't. So gimbal, slider, drone, $500. I would like to charge more, but so far it's been a little bit challenging. We're doing much more real estate photography than video.
How much you charge for the photography?
Photography, about $160 a house. They get 25 pictures for MLS. Also, some old pros like Neil would go, I'm not doing a house for $160, but I can do that house in 45. I'm doing a lot of $500,000 houses too. I'm not getting, you know, really expensive houses. $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. But I can do the photography in about 45 minutes. You know, 2,000 square foot house, 25 to 30 images. I was doing HDR. The color was rough. I had a really tough time with the color. And my friend Steve Bellner is getting $250 a house. And I said, Steve, how are you getting $250 a house? These other guys are charging $150. He does HDR, no other light. He retouches the hell out of it. And he does 5 or 6 a week. So 5 or 6 a week at $250 a house. I thought that was pretty cool. I then switched. Now I use a flash. And I do bracketing. I do 5 images. I bracket them. And I use a flash. And the picture's looking pretty good. 17 millimeter usually for every room, roughly 17 millimeter. My lens I use is 12 to 24. 12 is too wide. So, a little bit of marketing.
24 full frame?
Yeah, full frame. I use the Mark IV. Let me take this off. I'm far from you, right? You can't. I'm not gonna spit or anything. I swear.
We got ours on.
Yeah. So, any good marketing program, it's a little bit of everything, right? You know, you call people on the phone. You have a nice brochure. This brochure I made, I would drop this off at real estate offices. I think it makes you look good, makes you look professional. I don't think it's necessary to have a website for real estate photography or video. I have 2 websites for weddings and one for corporate video and photography. I dropped these off. No one has ever called me and they said, wow, I saw your brochure, let's talk. No one's ever done that. But I think it's nice presentation to have a good brochure. I have a link on my website to real estate work. So good marketing is a little bit of everything, right? Telemarketing. I hire a telemarketing company to call people, and they do something similar to what he talked about Zillow. There's ways to find top realtors. A lot of realtors aren't making any money. They do this part-time. They get 5 or 6 houses a year, and it's a nice part-time job, and they're going to take their own pictures. So we want the people doing 40 houses a year, 50 houses a year, or 15 very expensive houses. So like he said on the video, I like that guy, realtors are busy, they're always on the phone. A good realtor's not in the office, he's at a closing, he's meeting with a lawyer, he's meeting with a carpenter, whatever. They're really busy people. And sometimes difficult to talk to. Through telemarketing, I got a guy named Attilio, Bergen County, a lot of $800,000 houses. I was doing photography and video for him. And he wanted to be on the camera. He wanted to be, and he was horrible. He had this Jersey City accent. No offense to any Jersey people here, Jersey City. You know, I did live there for 3 years. A really tough accent. He wanted to be on camera, and there's nothing, I can't talk him out of it, right? You just can't talk him out of it. And then I fired him because he would yell at me. He'd be like, Dan, I told you I wanted a little higher. He would yell at me. I'm too old for people to yell at me, you know, it's not right. So I actually fired the guy. He gave me $3,000 worth of work in about 3 weeks. So I really, we don't like to walk away from money, but this guy was really annoying. I hope he's not out there watching this. So where are we going with this? Pricing, I said $500. I'm happy with $500. Let me show you a video. This young lady was pretty good on camera. This is a simple video. It's not as good as those other ones, so I feel a little bad.
Wait, before you do that.
What?
I can do it. Real quick. One of the things I want to say to this group is because you guys know Dan a long time. One time for Dan, because, you know, he was the wedding guy. I love the way he transitioned to real estate. This is a, you know, for you guys over there that's worried about transition, he did it. He's been killing this real estate. It was a good transition.
Thank you. Yeah, you gotta be flexible. Okay, David's Realty. Nice town, Westfield. Rich folk who work in the city.
In addition to being a commuter's dream, Westfield offers a fantastic school system, beautiful downtown, and multiple parks. This new custom colonial is located on the north side of town, within walking distance to shops and boutiques such as Juice Bar and Orange Theory. Welcome home to 626 4th Avenue, Westfield.
She wanted to date me, but I said no.
The first floor is bright and open with added touches of unique finishes and upscale craftsmanship. gourmet kitchen features stainless steel Thermador appliances, beautiful herringbone backsplash, and an elegant gray-toned island with plenty of seating for family and guests.
She's pretty good on camera.
Five bedrooms and 3 bathrooms finish the second and third floors. The master suite offers a private retreat complete with tray ceiling, walk-in closet, and stylish bathroom. This luxurious master bathroom includes his and her shower heads with a beautiful center rain head, double vanity, and gorgeous finishes throughout.
I did bring a
The
slider.
basement presents a large recreation room with high ceilings. The backyard is complete with paver patio, privacy fence, and detached garage. This high-end home was built to please. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon.
Pretty simple video. I probably was there about an hour and a half. I probably edited that in about 2 hours. She was happy with it. So, what's that? You know, I tell them to do it beforehand, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So for the photography, a lot of times I'm moving stuff around. It's kind of gross sometimes. I'm moving people's toothbrushes. Now we're wearing masks, obviously. So I want to talk about Matterport for a minute, because you mentioned it. I bought Matterport 3 years ago because I found a hotshot realtor that for every house, this guy, Chopper Russo, marketing dude, very successful. Why he did the drone on every house, the drone, photographs, and Matterport, not video, but Matterport on every house. He did a lot of $350,000, $400,000 houses in Oakland, New Jersey. And I said, Chopper, why? This drone doesn't even look good. There's trees everywhere. He says, Dan, this is how I get listings. When I'm competing against these other schmucks, they don't do any of this. I tell everybody gets a drone. Everybody gets Matterport. And he whips out his laptop and he shows Matterport. So the Matterport didn't help him sell any houses, but he would impress people by telling them, I'm going to give you Matterport. Well, this is not $1 million house. I don't care. I'm going to give you Matterport. So it worked out with him. I eventually lost him, which was sad. Very sad. I lost Chopper. And then I know about 50 realtors. Nobody wants Matterport. Nobody wants Matterports. I have a Matterport sitting in my basement.
What's the Matterport?
Oh, the Matterport, I'm sorry. The Matterport is a 360-degree camera. So you come into the house, doesn't work outside either. You start in the front, rotates, takes photos, you move it 8 foot, goes all around, you go around the whole house. A 7th grade kid could do this. It's really boring, it's not artistic. You then take it, you upload it to Matterport, they stitch it together, you get it the next day or sometimes that evening, and you get a link. The link is on their server. You have to pay a membership every month. So if you're not doing houses, you're paying a membership for nothing. So I canceled my membership. It's now $75 a month, I believe, and with the $75 a month, you get maybe 20 houses or something. And as soon as you quit the membership, those houses go away. They take it off the server. So, in conclusion, the telemarketing worked okay for me by just calling realtors, hey, we're having a special, can Dan give you a call? So I don't want to make cold calls. I make warm calls. I call people that either know me or want to hear from me. These telemarketing people call a lot of people. It's a lot of hang-ups. It's a difficult job. I'm going to try the Zillow thing. That's excellent. But I don't want you guys to try it, and stay out of Wayne, New Jersey. But any questions? That was 500. Yeah. Westfield is crazy. That house is like $750,000, $800,000. Westfield is a lot of money. Why? The railroad to go into the city, and I don't know, parks, good schools, I don't know. Good neighborhood. Yeah, but so, and those few shots I did, I kind of did that for free just to, get them enthused. So, yes.
What was the question?
I was under the impression that a lot of realtors use this, especially if they don't have a really expensive house. They pay this service, they get, and they get the manifold pictures, and they only pay like $50 for the whole thing.
Yeah, that I'm not sure, but I know when I bought the Matterport, a newer one came out like 2 months later. How do you like that? And the resolution got better, and you could, I believe you could get some stills from that. But me as the owner of the Matterport, I have to pay that monthly fee. And some realtors are buying these. I just don't think it caught on. I don't think Matterport caught on. Either they'll say they never heard of it, they don't like it, because it is a little clunky. It's not smooth like video. It's a little clunky. When you navigate through a house with Matterport, it's a bit clunky. You're clicking on a little circle, and you can go in any direction that you want. Or they never heard of it, or they don't want to pay the money for it. You really should charge about $200-300 for Matterport. So you got $500 for a drone, $150 for photos, and another $200 for Matterport. There has to be a realtor that is successful, confident, and making money, and willing to spend money on their career.
Or just go on Zillow and find $1 million houses and just hit those up.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And it's probably going to take a lot of emails. And I don't know what he said about to get 6 houses, you're going to have to send a lot of emails, a lot of follow-up, because people are busy.
More than 20.
Yeah, he said, more than 20. A lot of, because,
I think you send out 50, you'll make it 3.
We got the video today recorded, so if anybody wants a copy, $5, you got it right now. I'll give you the link.
The what? Yes, yeah. I have a little gimbal that I use. I'm using, don't hold this against me, but I'm not using a full frame camera for the real estate, and we'd like to in the future. But all right, I'm done. Thank you.
Here we go.
You're welcome. Anything else? No. If you're here, you get the link for free. Okay? Whoever's here, because I've seen Neil with his phone and Chris with his phone, you just wasted your memory. Because all you have to do is just ask us, and then you get an actual link to all of this. That it's streaming right now at like crappy quality, 1.5 meg, but I recorded it at 8 meg, so I'll upload it later, and then we'll have the link. Yes. Or, right now it's streaming to YouTube, but it's unlisted, so nobody can see it. All right, anybody that wants the link for tonight, email me tmsphoto @icloud.com. Okay, if you can remember, tmsphoto@icloud.com. If you have my phone number, text me, and I'll text you anybody's link. Okay, because only the people that want it should know about it. So text me, I want the link for tonight. Right, Jim? Yeah. All right, thank everybody for coming. Hopefully we'll see you on December 15th, 2020. Or it may be a virtual holiday party. It'll be a Zoom. L'chaim. All right, let's stop the stream and over and out. The 2 left red buttons. Hit them both. This right
The
here.
graphic? What's your splash page?
No, that's it. Nothing.
So you just
Go
cut like
live.
that?
Copy URL.
Oh my God.
Stop and complete. Stop and complete event.